Hi guys, Ed from Gunmart TV here. Today we're hiding in the shade, very hot, and we're looking at some Tier 1 bipods. We've got the ELR V2 on the Tikka and the Evolution on the Mossberg. So let's take a look. Right guys, the first thing I want to talk about is the shared components or parts, or design features if you will, on these two bipods. Now before I go any further, I have written a full and detailed article about these two bipods that recently appeared in Gunmart, and that will be on the Gunmart website, and we'll add a link down below so you can go and have a look at exact measurements, heights that they go to, how wide they go, things like that. So please go and check that out. So looking at the two bipods, we'll have a look at the Evolution as the guinea pig. Now the feet, you get rubber feet as standard out of the box, basically, on both bipods, and there is a small sprung retaining pin at the base of each leg, and you can use the bullet found in your rifle cartridge that you're obviously carrying around with you as you're out hunting or shooting or whatever, and you can just depress that sprung button in, pop out the feet and swap them for various other ones like spikes, for example. Just be aware that what might be compatible in the Evolution, for example, might not fit the ELR, so check that out on the Tier 1 website. Straight away you'll see aesthetically they look pretty similar. So you've got carbon fibre sleeves on both of these versions. Go and check out, I think the Evolution you can get with just aluminium legs if you want, but I don't imagine many people order that. For 100% certainty, just check that out on the in the article. You then have sprung tabs on the legs at the top here. And they let you control the height of the bipod, obviously. So you can just yank it out for quick deployment like that. You can do that on both. And then you've got détente within the leg, which is what it clicks onto. And then if you want to shorten the legs, then you press the tab, close it back up and return it like so. Both bipods allow you to have the legs deployed at 90 degrees like this, or around 45 degrees. Like so, and that's controlled with the button up here. Next up, the tensioning system, because both of these bipods offer cant. So if you loosen off the tensioner, which is positioned on the front on the Evolution and at the rear on the ELR for reasons that we'll get into, you then have, you can control how much cant you have on the rifle. Just tighten that back up like that. Now you get a knurled nut with the bipod, and then this nice extension lever to give you a bit more leverage, which just secures with two Allen screws onto that. And then if you want, you can order a pod lock from Tier 1 as well. For those that don't know, that's a polymer lever that is longer than this one, and that will give you even more leverage to crank it up. Build-wise, they're both manufactured from top quality aluminium alloy for its strength to weight ratio, and it's beautifully anodized, as you can probably see, and when you handle it you really get a feel for it, and it contrasts nicely with these sort of titanium coloured components as well, controls. So aesthetically it looks really good, and it's built to incredible standards, because Tier 1 are well known for their mounts. I've got Tier 1 on both these rifles here, precision engineered and 100% reliable, which is why I use them. So yeah, same build, and those are the shared features. So let's take a look at the two bipods individually now. So now we're going to have a look at the Evolution bipod on its own and go through its sort of uniqueness, if you will. Now the first thing you'll notice is this bipod is configured quite differently. So the first thing is you need to understand is the requirement for a Picatinny rail that extends right to the very tip of the rifle's fore end, which is why I've got it mounted on a chassis rifle here. And the reason being is this U-notch is not wide enough to accommodate a fore end, because the whole idea is the barrel of the rifle, as you'll see, goes through the centre of the bipod. So the analogy way I describe it is that rather than the rifle sitting on a bipod, it is sitting within a bipod, and that changes the way that recoil is managed and delivered to you as a shooter. It's much more linear. So it's a really nice configuration. Now this particular model came with the Picatinny quick release mechanism, which I spec'd. There are other ones available. Again, check out my article and I list all of the ones in there. But I imagine Picatinny is going to be the most popular. And obviously the Picatinny has to be at the rear to mount the rifle, leaving no room for the tensioner, which is why it's positioned on the front here. And because this I would class more of a hunting bipod, so primarily for hunting, but will happily do range work as well. But if I did more hunting than I did range work, then this is the bipod that I would choose. And that means that you're not really worried about, because obviously you have to reach to the front for the tensioner, but at the end of the day, if you're out hunting, it's not so sort of important. As I said before, you can just yank down the legs for really quick adjustment like so. And that's quite an impressive amount of height there. It gives you a lot of a good ability to tackle most of the uneven terrain that you might come across. And then you loosen the tensioner there, just tighten it up slightly. And as you probably see, you've got a good amount of cant on there as well. So that's really nice. And then you can just loosen it completely if you like and have it just freely moving around, which is nice. So very easy to use. And like I pointed out earlier, you can then put it at 45 degrees if you want, and that gives you even more versatility. So overall, a really nice and easy to use bipod. And I also like the fact that when folded up, you sort of get this trident look, which is a bit different. The only thing to be aware of, obviously, is it does increase the width of the rifle quite considerably. So fitting it in a hard case or gun bag, you might have to remove it, but hence you've got a quick Picatinny release. You don't really have to worry about that. Talking about the Picatinny, just so you're aware as well, you get a nice knurled nut on the opposite side of the lever. And that means you can adjust the tension of the clamping mechanism to accommodate different sized Picatinny, because although they're meant to be the same, you often come across different brands and they're slightly different. So this makes adjusting that tension really quick and easy. So you can just switch it from one rifle to another without any issues. So that's the Evolution. Right guys, the ELR V2, which I must say is my favourite out of the two. You know, first things first, is primarily aimed at the PRS or target crowd to offer maximum precision at longer distances. And therefore the design is a lot chunkier and sort of more rugged to offer you that stability at, you know, even when you've adjusted the bipod to its extreme lengths and heights, you still get really good stability from it. Now this one also comes with the quick release Picatinny rail, you know, in the standard configuration attached underneath the rifle. Obviously it also comes with the Arca attachment, and this allows you to, obviously, if you've got Arca on your rifle, you can slide it up and down the fore end, adding even more sort of, you know, range of motion and positions that you can have the bipod in, further adding to versatility. Now obviously this is sort of in its sort of standard configuration. But the real sort of party piece where most people will use it is by pressing one of the buttons behind the leg. You can increase the footprint quite significantly on the bipod, and then if you yank legs down, there you go. I mean, the footprint's massive, and you really notice the effects of that. I can't sort of stress it enough. If you compare this to sort of a Harris bipod, sort of what so many people use, you know, still to this day, because they're affordable and still available, versatile, stood the test of time. But it's only when you use a bipod like this do you realise what you've sort of been missing out on, and that's how I felt when I used it. You know, printing groups downrange, it's just the steadiness is unreal, really. So definitely worth trying one. If you've got a mate who's got one, definitely have a go, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But you can still, you know, adjust it out to 45 degrees. So you know, you can really do quite a lot with it. And I found, crucially, as well, when set at this height at maximum extension, it does work well with a rear bag. As well, it's the correct height to make that work. So, you know, when you're shooting downrange, sometimes, you know, the butt of the rifle can be too high or too low, but actually this works quite well. So, all in all, a really solid, exciting bipod to use. I get excited about things like this, which is quite sad. But definitely give one a go if you get a chance. That's the Tier 1 ELR V2. Right guys, well that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe and click the notification bell. And like I said, please check out my article on it. It goes into real in depth into both of these bipods. So if you want to know more, go and check that out. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Hopefully see you again soon. Cheers.